Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever and however you are listening, and welcome back to the Valley Life Podcast. Today, we'll continue our readings from Seasoned with Salt with author Laura Lapp.
Hey, I've got a story for you. The airlines have lost my luggage twice. It was very traumatic both times. The suitcases were eventually found, but now, when I travel, I only take carry-on luggage with me. Losing that baggage left an indelible impression on me, and I can actually take almost 3 weeks of clothing in my carry-on bag if I have to. This story is simply called, "What Kind of Baggage Do You Carry?" And the verse is 1 Samuel 16:7. "For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord, He looks at the heart." Several months ago, I went on a long trip halfway around the world. I traveled for more than 23 hours, and everywhere I went, I saw suitcases. There was an old tattered suitcase, a large, overstuffed suitcase that was so full it looked like it might explode. I saw a brand new fancy suitcase, and one suitcase was very plain and black. Some suitcases were large and some were very small, and I began to wonder what might be in those suitcases. I imagined the fancy suitcase held beautiful designer clothes and jewelry. Perhaps the small suitcase held what few belongings the owner had to start a new life with a new job in a new country. Maybe the old suitcase held treasured pictures and papers of memories long past, and I imagined the black suitcase held secret documents and perhaps a secret weapon. Usually, what is in a suitcase reflects where a person is going. The suitcase represents the traveler's heart. Is it adventure, memories, a business trip, perhaps a funeral? What kind of baggage do you carry in your heart? Is your heart full of hope and excitement, or sadness and pain? Perhaps your heart is empty, and your suitcase, so to speak, is void of much feeling at all. Maybe your heart is bitter and angry. Just like we choose what we put in our suitcases, clothes, papers, gifts, etc., so we also choose what we put in our heart. These choices reflect where we are going. The Bible has much to say about the heart, so let's look at some of the things we can fill our heart with and what the Bible has to say about it. Psalms 55:23 says, "Men of bloodshed and deceit will not live out half of their days." So, a heart full of lies and dishonesty will experience tragedy. Proverbs 17:22 says, "A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones." So, a heart full of love will experience joy and healing, and a broken heart will self-destruct. Philippians 4:7 says, "The peace of God will keep constant guard over your hearts and minds as they rest in Jesus Christ." So a heart that trusts in God will experience peace. John 14:1 says, "Let not your heart be troubled." So a heart full of worry will never be at peace. Psalm 51:17 says, "A broken and contrite heart God will not despise." A heart full of defiance and pride will become diseased. And lastly, Psalm 119:11 says, "Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against God." So a heart full of God's word will be very wise indeed. Whatever controls our minds and our actions has a lot to do with what is in our heart. Matthew 6:21 says, "Where your treasure is, there will be your heart also." So what do you treasure? What do you spend your time doing and saying and thinking about? God knows our hearts well. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." You can't fool God. He knows the secrets of your heart. If someone were to unzip the top of your heart like you would a suitcase, what would they find?
Thank you for listening to the Valley Life Podcast. Please be sure to like, click, and subscribe. And as always, God bless you.